Good morning, everybody. It's Javier, and I'm very excited to be with you here this morning. We're not going to take much of your time today, but we are going to share some things with you I think are very timely as it relates to our economy, our business, our life, and a few other things. So I'm not going to take much of your time, but I'm going to recommend that you do go ahead and get your hands on a tool that I'm going to share with you here in just 1 second on the screen, and that maybe you can go ahead and utilize to benefit from what this is going to offer you in just 1 second. Now, there's a lot of different books. I like this one because it's easy reading. Most people's attention span is very short when it comes to books. Most people haven't even read a book since high school. And so I would encourage you to at least read a book from time to time that can help you get yourself to the next level. We are coming down on the first half of 2023. And the question is your income, your production, your business as a whole, where you would want it to be at this point in 2023. It's literally half of the year gone. And so if you take a hard look at your production, whether you're recruiting, if you are looking to build a team, or maybe, like I said, just your overall level of success, if it's not where you want it to be, and even if it is, my recommendation to you is to go ahead and take a look at something like what I'm going to share with you today that can help you go ahead and do that. And so anyways, without any further ado, what I really wanted to start is by sharing with you what we're going to talk about today real briefly. It's a book called Declutter Your Mind, The Art of Decluttering and Organizing Your Life. Take a look at the last week. Perfect example. Is your business exactly where it was last week? Meaning, are you kind of the same in regards to production, recruiting, income, success, or whatever, or in many cases, lack of all those things? Then it's time for you not to be, naive enough to let this coming week go by without you having a more thorough plan to make sure that, again, you're closer to where you want to be in whatever you want to do. I'm going to relate this to business. I'm going to relate this to what we are here to do, which is to make money. And I'm telling you, we are at some crossroads within our business. And I'll give you an example. I didn't even know this, but I spoke to somebody last week, and one of our key people on our team is gone, and I didn't know this until, as you know, I had this conversation with all of you that we are, without a doubt, in a point of evolution in the economy, in the company, in the team, marketing, everything. And it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing whatsoever. So don't ever take anything I say the wrong way, because if it's intended to be something to spook you, I'll let you know. I'll warn you. I'm not warning you in the sense of something bad. I am warning you as it relates to opportunity and what's happening right now. So anyways, if you get a chance, go ahead and grab this book. I have Amazon Prime like so many people do. And the good news is that in most accounts, you get Kindle Unlimited. So I got a chance to download this book for free. A lot of books, and I mean a ton of books, are available for free. And I'm not going to read you the book. I'm just going to go a couple of the main chapters, if you would, and see how it applies to what I'm doing in my life, because I am personally myself doing just that. And so, all right. So anyways, I think the text went up 2 times. I guess it was programmed twice. But anyways, we'll talk about that right now. Declutter your mind. A couple of first things first. I just want to throw some kudos out and congratulate Victoria Lee and Corey Vu. They just hit their 22nd diamond. And for those that don't know what that means that they basically broke the $2.2 million in cash flow in the last 12 months, which is not too bad. I think that they have served as the ultimate rabbit that everybody wants to chase or should chase if that is your goal. And so, again, I just want to personally congratulate them. I happen to know them at the personal level. They're very good people, family people first. And the fact that they are doing great in business is, also good for them. But what's really unique about, Victoria here is that she came to the company with zero experience in life insurance. She comes from media. She comes from working at a television, station. It's completely unrelated to what we do here at FFS. And she came with a ton of desire. She got tired of, sick and tired of being sick and tired of where she was at, and came here with literally no experience. And she's done a lot of great things, as well as Corey. So I just want to take a moment to honestly and sincerely congratulate them on a job well done, and wish them nothing but continued success. Because remember one thing, there's more than enough success for everybody. And so I just want to personally commend them, congratulate them, and thank them for all they do for what I refer to for the cause, which is, of course, helping people. And in the process of helping people, all of us getting from where we need to be. And again, there's more than enough success for everybody. No need to try to, hate on anybody or discourage or hope that, they don't. Listen, there's more than enough. If you're willing to put in the effort, you too can be rewarded to whatever degree or level you're willing to work for. So It's our ultimate validation. There are some people here that have life experience already, life insurance experience, and haven't quite hit those goals. And so again, if nothing else, find out what it is you are willing to go after. What do you want? And then go after it. And Victoria Lee and Corey Rue have done nothing but validate that the FFS opportunity, if you would, is the real deal. Let's continue. I also wanted to provide you with a quick update. I want to congratulate Mr. Alan Guerra. We actually have 2 San Diego area schools on the calendar at a time where usually there's nothing going on. And so I want to congratulate him on those 2 openings. He did better. I sent out an email to San Diego. It had a good open rate, only 1 click, but unfortunately, nobody really booked anything. And so like I was explaining to him, by the time he came along 2 weeks later, the foundation had been laid because we need multiple impressions before people actually start to click and, God forbid, fill out the form for them to go ahead and receive their free sports equipment or whatever the case might be. We have the calendar. We are in the studio because we're recording this coming week, all of our videos for the second half of the year. We are not going to, I don't believe in doing things last minute. If you don't have your marketing calendar up and running already, well, then shame on you, because you should already have in mind, budget, everything that you're going to need to make the second half of the year extremely profitable and successful for you as well. And so we are going right back with our back to school supply campaign in the month of August. September will be the Life Changer of the Month award, which we already have a few teachers. And part of what I'm showing you week after week is revolved to marketing. You have to understand that this involves you going through one cycle. If you've been in FFS for more than 1 year and you're still not producing what you want to produce, you're clearly not learning the lessons that I'm trying to teach you, clearly. Because the good thing about FFS, especially in the specialized markets, you can do this in the friends, family circles, but we're talking about, we run primarily the specialized markets. All you need to do is do the right thing for 1 year, which is nothing. 1 Thanksgiving, 1 Christmas, 1 back to school season, 1 end of the year season, 1 time. And then guess what you do the next year? Repeat it. Boringly repetitious is what I love about this business. You only need to do it 1 time. So if you've been here more than 1 year and you're not producing what you want to produce, well, the problem is clearly you not heeding the lessons I'm trying to share with you, because I'm being very blunt, very, very honest with you. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but it's not that hard. It's not that difficult. I'll give you an example. What I do my presentations a little different. As a matter of fact, I think it was still on the screen because I'm training people. No, not that one, not that one. Maybe it's not here. And so maybe it's not here. Hold on, let me just go back over here and maybe share this with you so you understand one thing of what the psychology behind the presentation is. Now, what do you think is the whole purpose of doing a presentation, whether it be for teachers, cops? What's the purpose? What's your goal when you're going in there? Anybody, real quick, because this was not part of the plan, but anybody.
To get the appointment.
Okay, perfect. That's a very good answer. That's how we measure how successful we were. And ultimately, what we want to do is
Disturb them.
Go ahead.
Disturb them.
Disturb them to make appointments, or disturb them or inspire them to want us to contact them at a later time. And now I'm talking about the principals, because they've been working schools for more than 1 year. Something is very wrong if they are not coming to you. Very, very wrong. I'm pulling it, Lori, hold on. I forget the name of the school. Let me just pull this up. And I'm going to go ahead and just look at the calendar where we were, because I forgot the name of the school we were at. North Sterry. There it is. And so here's what I'm going to show you. So what I'm going to show you is 2 things. The opening slides of my presentation, which is not the greatest. It's ugly. I'll tell you that right now. But I'll show you where I'm going with this right now. So let me go ahead and put this up on the screen so you can see kind of where I'm at. I got to get out of this one for a second, because I was not going to show this, but I'll show it to you right now. And so that way I always started is, we always talk about the 7 keys to maximizing retirement. I know you can't see it, so let me just go ahead and put this up here so you understand what I talk about. Trust me, all of you that are presenters do a better job than me. I'm not trying to take that away from you, but I'm just showing you what I do, because I do things differently. I'm thinking, coming back to the same teachers, and I'm thinking, coming back with the principle, wherever that principle might be next year. And so anyways, I just talk about the 7 keys to maximize, but I lead by giving. I would say, look, listen, first of all, we are 403B advisors approved with both here and there, the state, also in this example, LAUSD, but we're also here on behalf of our proprietary nonprofit organization that's funded by us, meaning the people that work with you, not through corporate money. And we talk about anything from the Thanksgiving dinner giveaways. We're talking about anything from the sports equipment giveaways that we've literally have donated thousands upon thousands of pieces of sports equipment everywhere throughout Southern California. We're talking about the Christmas wish list as well, that we go out there and help grant the wishes of kids that really need some help. The backpack giveaway that we are also a great part of, many, and I mean thousands of backpacks. But our favorite one by far is this right here, and that is the Life Changer of the Month Award, where we come in and we recognize a very well-deserving teacher that the principal nominated, and then we go ahead and provide them with a gift certificate. We provide them with a tablet and more goodies, just as a way of saying, great job. And here's just a few of the many. Now, just so you know, every single picture says a lot, from the diversity to this guy right here with the union t-shirt. There's a lot of psychology maybe you don't get, and that's okay, but a principal will get. And that's the way it goes. And so we end up this, and then we go into the 7 keys to maximizing. We want to help you get to your retirement party. We want to base this off from CalSTRS, CalPERS. We're going to give you a free copy of the latest CalSTRS handbook that you should at least go through it once. And number one, you need to know your expected pension. We all seen this before. We show them where to calculate their own. If not, we'll calculate it for you when we meet with you via Zoom. Know your age factor, because that's going to tie in directly into your income gap. We show them how to do that. We show them how that's going to give them a short, their pension is going to give them that shortage, if you would. Then we wanted to maximize tax-free retirement income. How much of your pension is taxable? Well, let's go back to the CalSTRS, CalPERS handbook. Excuse me. It shows you that all of your pension is taxable. Lock in life insurance while you have money and the health, because when you leave the district, guess what? Your current life insurance stays behind. And this ties directly into number 5, which is you got to know how to plan for your survivor's option today. You are going to have options as regards to how you take your pension. Do you want to do 100% beneficiary option and get the least amount of money now? Or do you want to leave a 75 or 50%? And of course, it doesn't have to be just a spouse. So you have to know these little keys. And the way you're going to know how to make this money stretch out intergenerationally is by meeting with us. So I'm not going to give you all the secrets right now, because I just don't have the time. Otherwise, I would. Make an appointment and you'll get this. Also, you got to diversify and eliminate stock market risk and uncertainty. And that's probably the one thing, the number one thing that teachers mark off on my form. My form's a little different. And that is true, because they want to eliminate it or reduce the market risk, especially with everything that's going on in the market. You don't have to spook them, because the media spooks them for you. And then we talk about that. And then lastly, leverage the power of living benefits. In other words, we're talking about the life insurance you don't have to die to use, because unfortunately, one good illness could put you out of business, meaning wipe you out clean, and everything you work for your entire life is gone because of one health issue, one challenge that happened to you. And we're going to show you how. And guess what? Most teachers, 99% of them don't even know this exists, with the exception of those that are our clients. Who can tell me, how much do we manage 403B alone in LAUSD as LSW? Anybody know the exact number? And this is important, because I mean, how the hell you're going in there, or how are you going to go up there, not drop numbers and not lie? I mean, the latest numbers we have in active management, $250 million. The number one provider of 403Bs in LAUSD, like in almost the entire state of California, billions statewide, but in just LAUSD, $250 million. Boom. Well, here's what I wish I had more time. I don't have much time. Just go ahead and complete this card. Blah, 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 blah. Now, here's what we're doing different now, because what we haven't had, understand one thing, we're changing the name of that form, because we're not just doing, we're no longer just doing the actual, here, let me go back and launch this where we were. We are not doing just a Zoom. So we are prioritizing with those that can meet with people in person. Now, Kathy, George, the top closers that are on this call right now, and Alan, what percentage higher of chance do you think you have closing a piece of business face-to-face, human nature-based type of appointment versus just via Zoom? Do you think?
Face-to-face, 90%.
Yeah, I would say 80%.
Yeah, call it 80, call it 90. Okay, worst case, 80%. But first of all, via Zoom is the easiest thing to skip out on, because at that point, so I always look at where we were, what were we doing when we were, I mean, at the height of the school campaign. Now we're talking about going back to the early days. George, what do you think? Going back to Torrance, going back to the Cerritos office before the team came back under me, what would you say the number of actual deals being put in a month at the height?
At the height, well over 100.
I mean, I would say about 125 to 140.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. That's when we're doing about 80 schools a month.
And so what I ask myself all the time is, what was it that was happening back then versus what's happening now? And I'm just so you know, I think for a living. That's what I do. I mean, I don't like to distract myself with, petty stuff during the week. I sit here and I strategize and I draw it out and I use PowerPoint and I do this and a mind map. And I finally figured it out. We cracked the code, as you know, on how to open right now, which before it was more about in person, and that was good to a certain degree. But let me finish the story where I'm getting at. What I wanted to show you before that was that you saw me talk about, and I went too far because I didn't want to show you all that, but what I wanted to show you, let me just show you the part that I'm looking at the principal. I am looking at the principal when he or she is there, and I'm talking about this, not all this crap, forget all this, even though I'm working the audience. Starting here is when I'm looking at the principal, and when I'm talking to the principal, by the way, what I'm doing, I'm actually doing this. I'm doing this to them. And so what I'm saying, as a matter of fact, Mr. Principal, I'm looking at him. My favorite part of what we do has to do with the Life Changer of the Month award. And here's the way I word it. I'm not training you, I'm just kind of giving you an idea. We go ahead and select a well-deserving teacher that you, the principal, gets to nominate. And what we do is we recognize them. They'll get a certificate of achievement. We will give them a gift card, and we will even give them a free tablet, just as the way of saying thank you for all your hard work, recognizing that well-deserving teacher, and most importantly, let them know that it was you who nominated them. And the first thing this principal said, oh my God, I have to pick somebody. I go, well, at least you get to pick somebody. And so that was it. We have an appointment with her, the principal, for her 403B, rollover, IUL, whatever it's going to end up being. But what I'm saying is that what I also do every time is I always send them an email just saying thank you. So this is all automated. So the system sent her an email and just say, hey, I wanted to thank you for giving me the opportunity to present to your staff yesterday, and closes a small token. And what it is, it's a gift card for $25 from Starbucks. Her response to me was, oh, wow, thank you so much, Javier. It was a pleasure having you. And thank you so much for the sporting equipment for our students. They will love them. I look forward to hearing from you in the fall to recognize one of my teachers. She did not forget that. That's the one part that impacted her to the point. And so how stupid would I be to not start the fall season with her in mind, because that one is done. And so again, it's not how many lead cards you collect the first time around, because the bulk of your money, meaning the bulk of the business, will come from the appointment cards the second and the third time when teachers see you more often and they get more comfortable with you, especially if you're doing it in person. And so anyways, the reason I shared that with you, going back to the, just get out of this PowerPoint and I'll bring it back up, because this is super, super important. Let me go back over here. As it relates, this is super important. I said, what I'm just telling you, that our world is changing and most people have no clue as to what's going on. Most people have no clue. And all I'm telling you, here's what I encourage you to do. Consider, like I told you, a rebirth of your business, because like we finally cracked the code on opening up schools. But the one part where we went completely wrong, and that was my fault, I misjudged something, was how horrible the Zoom appointments are, meaning the ratio. So how do you fix that? Well, it's hard to get people to drive, and understand that a lot of us are tired. A lot of people are, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so what I'm getting at is that what I've decided to do, which what I'm asking you to consider, is start a whole new team a new division, a new leg, whatever the hell you want to call it. Because just because you're tired doesn't mean everybody else is tired. Just because you're burned out doesn't mean they're burned out. Just because you're struggling doesn't mean that they're struggling. And so for me, I can't build a team until I know I'm opening, or I figure it out how to open. And some went really well. LAUSD, we have 9 in the month of June, which is unheard of, by the way. The staff meetings, not the only problem we're having is how the hell do we 2 of them, because you just so you know, LAUSD has the bulk of their meetings on Tuesdays. And we have 4 on Tuesdays, 2 on one Tuesday, 2 more the following Tuesday. How the hell do we do that? How do we do that? And so, anyways, to make a long story longer, we did really well there. San Bernardino. Now this is starting next month going to get broken down into districts, because they went out to San Bernardino as a whole, and it's being rephrased. Everything is being rephrased like we did with LAUSD, where it's just now it's a lot of work because the image has to say, LAUSD versus just Southern California, and then the video has to be reshot with hello Palm Springs Unified and or whatever the hell it might. But you do what you do. We've walked you through how to do green screens. We've walked you through Camtasia. We've walked you through Canva. So yeah, we go in there. We just simply change it. The same thing happened with San Diego. Everything's being redone to speak specifically to San Diego. Riverside County, the same thing. The only one that went really bad was Bakersfield, because for whatever reason, there were 0 opens, even though we went to 44 of them. But I think the email domain changed or was wrong because it never got to anybody, basically. And so that's what we're looking. So we're learning, but we are ready for the fall, and I hope you're ready for the fall as well. Now, part of this, what I'm doing, I've been working on this project that I've been showing all of you about doing that. So I want to congratulate. We did LAUSD Evergreen, had 13 appointments. We did really well. We went to Norris Theory, which is the last principal you saw, very well received. Then we have, one of them got rescheduled. And then I got to talk to George about the one that is there on Tuesday, because that one anyways, I'll talk to George about that one. But the point that I'm making is that there's a lot of business to be had. And then after that, we have Westminster. After that, we have 66th Street School. And then we have Webster Elementary. That's actually going to be handled by Mr. Alan Guerra down in San Diego, and so on. And then we go right into June, which is June, which is, of course, unheard of. So the point that I'm making is I want to just thank everybody that has been following along and at least trying. We got a lot of people who are not even trying, but yet they're nowhere near where they need to be, where they want to be. And that's on them. That's not on me. But this is the actual Norris Theory that we just, the principal that you just heard from that emailed me about the fall. Again, that's one of 3 that I have already that are willing to requested to play, that I haven't even reached out to the other ones that we've done a ton of meetings at before. So another thing that we are doing, we're going more local. And so what you see here, this is the actual list of the people. I've been working on this and I've been showing you this marketing thing forever, 28,000 life insurance agents. I narrowed it down and we are down to the 19 that are coming on board, of which I think 2 or 3 already came in, and I told them not to join, but they got ahead of the game and they joined. So these are the people. Out of these, I'm prioritizing the ones, I think 7 are LA based. That's going to solve the problem for LAUSD right there. We have some in San Diego. We have some in Bakersfield. We have some in Orange County. And so the point that I'm making, again, is that we all, as you'll see in the classes coming up right now, we all need to reassess where we stand. And I'm going to get into that when we get to the book that I encourage everybody here to read. So these are the final 19 that made the cut. They're all coming on board. And again, from a strategic perspective, everybody knows that they can only do in person. We have the San Diego and a couple other places that are going to be remotely, but they are not coming on board until we are so overwhelmed that none of our existing people can handle it. So we're not bringing them on board. They're not getting a code. They are participating in our weekly training webinar that we're putting everybody through. As a matter of fact, we just finished our last this past 18th, which is Thursday, where everybody that's coming on board completed the orientation as to what's expected, what we're going to be doing, and going all the way down to the actual, which we got away from, the way that we did, meaning a third party, somebody else did the actual auditions and everything else that goes with it. So I just want to thank everybody who has been doing their part, because I'm telling you, the world is changing so fast and life is just life, that we do have to, from time to time, just declutter our mind. And in the process, it's the art of decluttering and organizing your life. It's happening. No, if you are making what you need to make, what you want to make, bless your heart. And thank you for doing here. I just don't know too many people in that situation. I just don't. Everybody wants to increase it. I hope you do, because I'm telling you, nothing will. I learned a long time ago, because somebody was telling me, why don't you reach out to so-and-so from back in the day that can present, or so-and-so. I don't want to do that. I don't want to reach back in the day. That's reaching into the past. I'm moving towards the future. And so therefore, what we used to do years ago means nothing today. And I learned from a mentor and probably one of the top builders of teams in the history of the United States of America, personally, when he always told me that it's easier to give birth than try to revive the dead. And so therefore, I took that to heart. And that's the lesson you need to learn. At any moment, I offered you guys the opportunity to do that. I showed it to you. I have 78 other quality people that are in line, and they're willing to wait. And that's why I kept telling you, you go from being the hunter to the hunted, and they said they'll wait. I told them, look, we're done. We did this in November. We're doing it again now. You probably won't be getting a call in realistically September, October for the next, I call them academy class, if you would. And they're willing to wait. And so that's what I want you to do. So let's talk about decluttering your mind. I'm not going to read you the book. This is something you can find on Amazon. If you have Prime, you can get it for free. So go ahead and get it. Now, when you think declutter, what do you think? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, Gary, what do you think? Gary, let's start with Gary. Gary, what do you think when you hear declutter? Because remember, if you're here to participate or hang up and go.
Inefficiency.
That's one way. Okay. Well, inefficiency. Anybody else? Well, Kathy, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say to get all the junk out of your mind and focus on the things that are important at hand.
Okay.
Because we're always our own worst enemy.
Okay, Joe, that's a really good one. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Yeah, clarity. We need clarity.
Okay. I mean, and I think that's very difficult. Now, think about this for 1 second. I went from, where the hell did I go? Yeah, my mind is all screwed up, but I went from, I forget where exactly I drove. It wasn't a lot. I want to say from LA to like Menifee or something. I don't know where the hell I went. But anyways, I drove for a little while. And by the time I came back, my windshield was just full of crap, literally, to the point that I could not see as well because of all the crap. Now, imagine it never rains. Imagine you never go, let's just say you never go to the car wash, right? I mean, how well can you possibly see with years and years or even weeks and months of accumulated crap? Think about that for 1 second. Think about it. And so the point that I'm making is that we have to declutter every aspect of our life. This book is called Declutter Your Mind, which I love the introduction. And it talks about clutter is stuck energy. And so that is so true because I think every single one of you here has the potential, the ability, you have the license, you have the company, you have the team to thrive. But then have you ever asked yourself, why? Why can't I channel everything in the direction of the success and or the income that I want? Have you ever asked yourself? I mean, again, I'm so happy for, let's just say, Corey and Victoria, but man, I guarantee a lot of people say, well, man, they're so lucky. They're so this. That's not true. If you ever talk to them, one thing you will know about them, and it might get on your nerves, it's all about business. It's all about business. And if you've heard Corey speak, and he's visited us many a times, it's all business. Either you're going to be part of the solution or part of the problem. And if you're part of the problem, get the hell out of the way. And that's the way it should be. And so I think that this is very true as it relates to anything else. I had one person give me a call this week, and they had a quick question. And I hate quick questions because there's no such thing as a quick question. And by the time the answer to what this person wanted to know, I said, well, it's nice hearing from you. I mean, I love everybody. I go, but that's exactly what we talked about last Saturday. I understand, but I was busy. Okay. But I really want to tap into that. Well, then tap into it. But where do I get the list? Right? I go, that's what we talked about 2 Saturdays ago. I mean, and then by the time we got to the fourth quick question, they kind of got the message that I'm not going to repeat myself. You must be crazy if you think you're going to come out of the blue and we're going to move heaven and earth to accommodate you, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to, just like you have every right to have never called anybody, say, hey, well, how come you were not there on Saturday? I don't care why you were not here. It's not my damn business. But please don't call me expecting me to move my schedule around just because it's finally convenient for you. It just doesn't work. So going back to this right here, you have to do that because this will cost you success. And I said this 3 weeks ago, and I'll say it again. There's a great quote that I wasn't there to hear the guy say it, but they say that, a quote comes from Buddha. And what Buddha said was, your biggest problem is you think you have time. And that's all of us. That's all of us. And so I want to help make sure that Father Time doesn't end up, costing you the success you and your family deserve. I'm not going to get into this, but it does definitely talks about bad habits, benefits. They both work the same. I mean, I do certain things because I'm used to doing certain things. I don't do certain things because I'm not used to doing certain things. Now, I don't like to waste time. I love my grandkids. I love my kids. Yesterday I was with my daughter. It was her birthday. We were at a, Benihana, copycat type of restaurant, and we were just having a good time, whatever. That took a, but I was looking at my watch because we'd had 4:45 dinner. We got out of there at 6. I had to be back home for a webinar at 7. I got to write business. I want to be productive. I want to make money. And thankfully, coming back from Riverside, traffic wasn't bad. Got here and was able to do that. But I think we cannot just simply throw away everything in the name of something else. We have to learn to be balanced. Now, what do you think are some of the bad habits we have in this business? I don't care about your personal life. Please don't start going there. But what do you think? Some of the bad habits in this business? Anybody?
Time management.
Time management could be one of them. And that's usually a result of maybe never really being focused on how to manage. Because remember, our business, here's one of the things I love, but what I hate. And the number one reason we, especially myself, I'm starting with myself, is that this business doesn't take a lot of time. So, Kathy, how long does it take you by the time you meet with the first appointment, the second appointment, and you deliver the policy, which is now almost always digital format? How many hours do you put into a case?
Probably just a couple hours. I mean, I think the Zoom meetings are probably anywhere between the first meeting between 30 to 45 minutes, second meeting about 45 minutes, and then I actually have timed myself on the applications. I can finish them up in 13 minutes.
Okay, so call it 2 hours, 2.5.
Yes.
Okay, call it 3 hours if you're slow. And the point that I'm making is that, the good news is that it takes us only 3 hours per case. The bad news is that it only takes us 3 hours per case, that it's so easy to get caught up in other stuff outside of business. That's a lot of the times the problem. So yeah, that could be time management. What are the bad habits here? I mean, I'll give you one. For me, I always stay on top of more than what I do good. I try to stay on top of what I don't do. And so I'll give you an example. If I don't have production, if my team doesn't have production, if I don't have a recruit or my team doesn't have recruit, if we don't have results, tangible results. Now, tangible results are things we can measure. What's one of the tangible results we have here at FFS? Well, you can measure recruits. Now, if you're not recruiting, bless your heart. I understand that's not for everybody. How about production? Do you have production this week? If you didn't have any production this past week, what do you do differently on the Saturday that changes that for the coming week? Anybody? So let's just say you didn't have any production. Is that no? If you didn't intend to, if you don't want to have production, that's okay, I guess. But most people don't want to have a loser week, right? Most people intend to have something productive happen in their week. But what if you don't? What do you do differently immediately? I mean, I'm running around panicking because I've seen some numbers on my team change for the worse. And my knee-jerk reaction is to rev up the number of staff meetings and stuff like that. And number two is rev up number of people. We got people that are coming from life insurance companies right now. All those 19, they're coming, they're licensed, they're active. The only problem we're having is they don't want to switch their National Life Group appointment. If they don't want to switch it, they don't have to. But I told them, you don't have to come work with us either. And so the answer is, thank you for your time. There's nothing here for you. Because I have never submitted business to Columbus Life. I wouldn't even know where to start. And it's been so many years since I've submitted anything to Anaco that I can't help you there. I really can't help you there. So who's going to help you for the software? And it's either all or nothing. And go ahead.
I thought I heard something in the past that with National Life, you could have 2 appointments.
You know what? It's called dual appointments, is what we heard. The last time I spoke with contracting at FFS, they said that we were not doing it, but that's the person that told me that wasn't there. And so what I actually have a call out, I spoke with Jay several times this week about bringing all these people on board. There's a lot of moving parts. He's trying to get me the final answer under dual appointments. And if they can do that, then problem solved. So yes, make sure you understand. And I'll give, now if you want to call FFS during the week, you'll have an answer. But next Saturday, I promise, if not, remind me about what's the final word with dual appointments. We have some people coming back to FFS that left, they resigned, they went somewhere else. Now they're coming back, but their resignation got turned to a termination because they generated a chargeback while they were gone. So now they can't come back until they pay everything off, which they don't want to do. Well, then, on to the next person. That's a lot of moving parts to bringing a lot of people on board at one time, but it happens. So bad habits, anybody else, just one person, what bad habits, business-wise, do you think we can develop or reinforce sometimes?
Have a consistent marketing schedule, whether it's on the phone.
Okay.
Or
And
whatever.
the craziest part is all you have to do is look at big business. All you have to look at Costco, look at Walmart. I know that spring is coming when in winter, Costco's bringing out the workout machines and they're bringing out the vitamins. And they're bringing out the towels in the early spring for the summer already. And the sunscreen sprays are coming out on sale. And very quickly as they arrive, in just a few months, it's gone. And so I think that, again, what a sad story to tell when our business is so predictable, especially if you're making money anywhere, bless your heart. But remember, people are coming back here. I was just talking to 2 people this week that were working for a company, which was really popular. They were paying for their benefits. They were paying for their transportation, hotel, and they were going to businesses all over the country. But that company's shutting down. I have my notes right here. I have another one who they just reduced their Medicare place by 38% of the employees got let go. He made the round to stay, but he already knows that the next round, they're going to cut him because Medicare is not sold the way it used to be. It's not the same anymore. The same thing with final expense. The number 3 place that we're getting people from right now are Lincoln Heritage. That's another one. They're changing the way they're doing business to the point that it's changing for us. I just told you last week, National Life Group is giving us about 24% less on the target premium than we were getting just 2-3 years ago. So we're not immune to it, but we're still getting a bigger chunk of the money, where some of these people are telling me that they're walking away with $8, $16. My question to them is, why the hell are you there? And so all these bad habits, we don't want to be careful. I'm not going to read it. Cleansing and renewal. Cleansing simply means that, what do you consider a team? I'll give you an example. And some of you, a lot of you here have a team, or maybe you're part of a team. What do you define as a team? Anybody? I define it as people that are under your organization. That's my definition. Now, here's the question. Do you want to have a team, or do you want to have a productive team? Anybody?
Productive team.
Anybody else?
Yeah, productive. What's the point of having a team just to have a bunch of cheerleaders saying, yeah?
Okay. And what do you do? And this is just a question. Again, I'm just bouncing off you. What do you do when your team is not productive? And let me put it this way. What do you do when your team, or part of your team, or teammates, people, have made it very clear that they want to produce, but it's been a year, it's been 2 years, 3 years. What do you do? What do you do?
Try to get them to plug back in.
And they plug in.
Then do nothing, right?
I don't know. I'm asking you because, like I said, there's always a percentage of every team that falls in that category, but I think I know it's impossible for a team to succeed when the majority of the team falls in that category. Does that make sense? It's impossible. It's very, very difficult. And so that's what I'm saying. So what do you do? So I ask you these questions. So now my answer has always been the same. I let my current team hopefully come to their damn senses and start doing something, but I'm not going to wait for them. I'm not going to go bankrupt waiting for them to come out of their coma. So what I'll do is, while they are here still thinking about it, I'm going to go get me 19 new people, because out of 19, I guarantee you I will end up with 3 that revolutionize my business. And next year, I'll do it all over again. And so I believe in the police academy mindset, in the LAPD, the month and year that you got hired is your class. So today, right now we're in May. So if I was with the LAPD going into the academy right now, they would call me 523. And you will forever be 523. I was class 395. Guess when I got hired? March of 1995. And forever, you're 395. My teammates that are retiring and this and that, we all are part of our groups that are 395. And there's 495 and there's 895. And so what I'm getting at is that I love that format because I only have to show it to people one time. I did an orientation webinar to kind of dwindle down the list of people even more from 24, and 19 showed up. The ones that did not show up are not playing anymore. They're not part of it. If they can't be there in person, I'll leave them in the team, but not coded. I don't need you to get a code number yet. And not until the people that can handle stuff in person. So we got quite a bit of good people in LA that we're using already that are going to be doing nothing but in-person appointments. And if they can't do in-person appointments, we don't need them. We don't need them because the Zoom, it just costs too much money, takes too much time to go added in the name of convenience. We got to ask ourselves, are we in the business or not? So that's what I'm saying, that's how I fixed it. So you want to go ahead and cleanse and renew all aspects of your life because they're all tied together, whether it be your emotional health, your relationship health, your business health, whether it be whatever. So that's why I'm encouraging everybody to consider that. Beginning again is a beautiful thing for me because like I told you earlier, it's much easier to give birth than to try to revive the dead. And so for me, this just simply means that while I have this class right now that I'm calling 523, I hope to have another one by November and then do it all over again. And it's part of the beginning again. Now, if you are not as productive, ask yourself, what do you intend to do to join the ranks of those that are productive? And by the way, productive doesn't mean 20 applications a month or 5. It means whatever you come to achieve. If you're telling me that your goal is 0, then yeah, I don't want you around me. I mean, if that is your stated goal, come on. I don't want, but if all you need are 2 sales a month, I'll never forget for me, I thought I felt like a billionaire when I was in the police department making 100,000 part-time, spare time. That was the best feeling on earth ever. Now, before I hit 100,000 a year, what changed my life or started to change was when I was making a consistent, probably around $800 to $1,000 a month. I needed 600, but when I hit 800 to 1,000, and then it just grew from there. But at 600 now that wouldn't be the case today, of course, but there are people that would take 1,000 a month. And so again, it's a new beginning. You have to renew yourself to your commitments, your goals, and your dreams. And here's important, discarding. Now, when it comes to discarding in the physical world, I'm going to be going out of the country next week. I got to go pick up my mom in Mexico. So I'm taking her some of my technology that I have here, some cameras and stuff. She likes to look at her home. So I went to my garage. Man, I found so much crap. And I don't have what I would call super cluttered garage. I just don't like that. I like the minimalist approach. But I've been here for years. And it's amazing how, let me put this here so I can fix it. Let me put this here so I can take a look at it later on. And it's been 5 years. And so discarding means a lot of things to different people. But in the name of our business, number one thing you have to discard is the method that you're going at it. If what you're doing is not giving you what you want, you better discard it. Be aware of it. Understand that it's not working. So therefore, it doesn't mean you're cursed. It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean God doesn't like you. It just means that your methods aren't working based on multiple factors. Maybe it's just not you. So the question is, what do I need to do to get myself to become productive? And that's what we want everybody to do. So discard, in some cases, the relationships that are holding you back. In some cases, the methods. In some cases, the approach. In some cases, the tools. And many other ways. Now, I remember when we used to go try to open up the schools in person. And 80% of the time, we couldn't even get the damn in the door. Literally. Whereas now you can hit send, and every school in San Diego just got a door knock. A few opened it. And for Alan's, he got 2 staff meetings that he didn't have, and he would have never, ever in a million years have. Now he's in the same position. What the hell do I do with him? That's a good problem to have. I have more work that you can need, and we'll fix it together. We'll work it out. I promise you, we'll work it out. We'll help you. But that's what you need to sometimes do. Discard the old way of doing things, and includes discarding people in some cases as well. Moving through the external world, money and business. This is very, very true, because just like I keep telling you that our business model is changing. A lot of things are changing right now. You're going to have to learn how to bring more value to people, both as seller if you're selling, recruiter if you're recruiting, and in every other aspect of your business in money life as well. I'm a big believer that right now we should be making as much and stashing as much money as we can, because I think things are going to get ugly, and I do mean ugly. And so therefore, nothing better than next year you said, look, Javier, I saved up all this money and nothing happened. Well, then keep the damn money. That's what you do. Be grateful. And so I think that, yeah, things are going to be getting tough. And so therefore, we need to go at it with the highest level of percentage of us achieving success. Zoom is okay. And there are this week, I don't know how many appointments I dished out via Zoom. My goal is to stop that or reduce it to when they actually cannot be seen in person. Then we'll call them and say, hey, good news, we're going to be able to see you, but via Zoom, because that way, blah, blah, blah. But the magic phrase, of course, in any school presentation is when you tell them that, look, listen, we're going to be here today, tomorrow, and the next day. And we can see you before or after school or during your conference period, and blah, 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 blah. When you say that and they book it, so put down a date, even if it's date and time, even if it's tentative, we will see you here. Then let them say, I'd rather do it via Zoom. Zoom is such an easy way to get out of it. Our closing ratio in our actually ratio of seeing people in Zoom sucks. Just call it what it is. It sucks. Okay. And then the closing ratio sucks even more. So sucks times sucks equals, well, it sucks. And so the point that I'm making is that understand where your higher chances for success are. And I could easily just send a DVD or a video or a link and tell the principal to play a video of me doing the presentation for the staff. It's not going to work, or not as well as being in person and pointing at people and asking what ride you here, there. It was a great event with the we had over at the North Sterry, which is this one right here. We had 3 observers with brand new people ready to go. We had 3. And so the reason we shoved 3 in there is because we need to get to the closers ASAP. And so by this week, they're going to start closing. And so the point that I'm making is that that's sometimes what you need to do. Now, the good news is if you are doing this and you do recruit somebody and you want them to come observe at one of our events, send them. We'll accommodate them. We want to help you, but we want to make sure you also know what you're going to do with them or where you're going to put them in the actual event. So anyways, I'm going to wrap it up by just going into clarifying personal relationships, because they do push you or they will hold you back. And so that's something that, again, you're going to have to deal with, look at on your own, because the number one reason people are not as productive as they could be here at FFS is they're just so damn distracted with other things in life that ultimately don't matter as much as their own internal success. I was talking to somebody this week, and they're relating to me some of the personal challenges. And what I told them was, like, listen, let me tell you, all I can tell you is that your happiness is your responsibility, nobody else's. And your fulfillment is up to you, nobody else. And you'll know when you have reached that point, when you start to become productive versus not. Very, very simple. And so again, this book is, like I said, I have the Amazon, I think there was one more, conclusion, maintaining a clutter-free life. So the point is that this is the name of the book, Declutter Your Mind. And if you have Amazon Prime, like I do, I get unlimited, Kindle Unlimited. It's just free. It's easy reading. It's short. It's sweet, but it's very powerful. And you can apply it to all aspects of your life. And of course, I'm just talking to you about applying it to this particular one right here. What I'm going to do is go ahead and open up. If you could please unmute yourself, it's a lot quicker. I don't want to read the chat. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, ideas, anything, I would like to hear from you at this time. Anybody?
Do you need a Kindle?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Bob.
Do you need a Kindle to be able to use that, or
No, you can get the Kindle app on your phone or on the tablet, like an iPad or Samsung or whatever kind of tablet you have, and just download the Kindle app and you can access it there.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a Kindle. Kathy, go ahead, please.
Oh, I just, sometimes I think we kind of lose sight of what we do and how important it is. I met with one of the leads that you sent me yesterday, and both her and her boyfriend were like, we wish we met you 5 years ago. And so it's really important to get the message out there and talk to as many people wherever you're at about what you do, because there are people that need us and they just don't know about us.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's the essence of trying to get out to see, which for me at least, part of a team is that we can decentralize. And can you imagine LU is the perfect example, or any, because we're coming to the Inland Empire, we're coming everywhere. My goal is and I told you this before, you hold me to it. My goal is by September, October, to be at 200 appointments a month, 200 actual physical appointments, but some will be in person, most will be in Zoom. But my goal is to get to 200, because what I was telling Marcella, the need for what we do has never been greater than right now. If you want to get someone's attention, here, I'll show it to you one last time because I got to get on a different webinar. But if you want to grab a teacher's, or when you're doing a presentation, and by the way, I'm doing a quick academy on how to give a winning teacher's presentation. Here's one thing. Let me go back over here and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, it's not this one. Where the hell did it go? If you want to give a winning presentation, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It's all fighting games, as they say, until someone's ego gets hurt. And so what I do, when I'm giving the presentation, it's going to start here in just 1 second. Here's what I do. I go, okay, well, cool. Here we go, here, blah, blah, blah. And so then we get to right here. I'll talk about that in just 1 second. But when I start here and I ask them, by a show of hands, how many people here like to retire someday? And then that's all the comments. Oh, yesterday, today, tomorrow, whatever. Okay, great. Now, this is important for everybody. But what I'm referring and what I'm asking them is this. Now, by a show of hands, how many of you here were hired after January 1st of 2013? And most hands, or a lot of hands, go up. Well, this, what I'm going to share with you today, is important for everybody, but especially for you if you got hired after January 1st of 2013. And I'll explain to you when I get there. And then I get here and I explain to them, like the example that we use here. Well, she's pretty young. She would not have been falling under the 2% factor at age 60, because of course, if she's younger, hers got reduced from 2 to 1.76. And again, I'll share this with you, how I do it. But we want you to be doing your part. And remember, being a professional student pays nothing here. We want people that are doing something, reporting back of what you're doing, and then building upon that. Otherwise, we got to get you to the point that you actually start to do something first before you build upon that as well. All right, if no one has anything else, questions, comments, concerns, last call. Once, twice. If not, thank you for your time. I really appreciate everybody. I just want to go ahead and let you know. As a matter of fact, last thing, Stephen, I apologize. I found an old email that I had received about the guest speaker and I was wondering, maybe I'll give her a call. Maybe next week she could take a few minutes just to introduce herself next week. If that works, I apologize. I did not see it. My fault. But I'll give you a call later to discuss that as well. For everybody,
no worries, reach out.
Thank you. Okay, for everybody else, thank you so much for all that you do. I can't tell you how proud I am to have you on the team, and I can't wait to see you go from where you are to where you deserve to be. And again, do the math in your head one time that if you're doing just 4 closings a month, your income is simply incredible, and you have all week to do whatever it is you're doing, your business, your job, or whatever. But we got to take care of business first, and I hope nobody ever takes anything the wrong way. But come the fall, we're going to take this summer to retool. We are going to get some of you recertified to be presenters, because if you do the presentation for me, I would like for you to do it the way I do it, just because of the fact that the closer there only know this one, and it's to the point, and we'll make it super duper easy for everybody to do that as well. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.